Okay, let us start the today's lecture for the microwave engineering. Uh, as per your syllabus, we have already covered the serial number 1 and serial number 2, and today I will start the serial number 3. So just take one review for your syllabus. So I have covered this uh, introduction part, then introduction to microwave and history, this part. After that, mathematical model of microwave transmission, concept of modes, and in last lecture, I have discussed concept of impedance in microwave transmission. For today's class, the topic is your coaxial line. So this is your the unit name is analysis of RF and microwave transmission lines, and the first topic is coaxial line. After coaxial line, we will move on the rectangular waveguide and circular waveguide, and then various type of your transmission lines, that your you can say fabricated transmission line, uh, which can be easily fabricated on a simple machine, that is called the strip line and micro strip line. So we will discuss here these four topics in detail: rectangular waveguide, circular waveguide, strip line, and micro strip line. But for today's class, we will see the why there is a requirement of coaxial line. We will see some disadvantages of your simple two line transmission lines, that is also called the your phone cable lines. So you can consider your coaxial line is an improvement over the your two cable or two conductors phone lines. So let us see the construction and details of coaxial line. So this is there are three diagrams in this figure. The first diagram shows the excitation of coaxial line by a source, and then it shows the methodology to place the load at the second end of your transmission line. The second diagram, that is number B, it will there is a electric field and magnetic field shown in this diagram. Actually, this is the cross sectional area of your core of your coaxial cable, and the third is the construction of your coaxial cable. But before this, we should know about why there is a requirement of coaxial cable. Actually, in a simple two conductor phone lines, your it is a open type of conductor. It is not covered conductor. It is a simple two lines at two different potentials. So there is a potential difference, and this potential difference of the conductor will carry the information from the phone line. But the main disadvantage of this two conductor phone line is it will radiate energy in a huge manner. Means you can say, as your RF current flowing through the phone cable, it will radiate the energy in environment. Means as the length of your phone conductor phone line increases, the amount of radiated energy is going to be increased, and hence you will observe that after a long distance, at the output you will see that the amount of energy received at the load side is too low that it cannot be converted into the actual information. Means the energy propagation through the phone conductor up to a you can say long distance is not possible with the simple two line transmission line, that is the phone cable. This is the main disadvantage. It means you can say that it radiates the energy in environment, and radiation loss is very high for the phone conductor. So one of the possible way So one of the possible way may be defined as a you can if anyhow you are able to make your two conductor such that one conductor is covered by the other conductor, but keeping the potential difference again, because if simply if you take one conductor and covered by the other conductor, and there is a hollow space between these two conductors, so due to the you can say capacitance produced by these two conductors, charge is going to be placed from one place to the other place, and hence the potential difference gradually will going to be decreased. So to maintain the potential difference, we use the dielectric core between the outer conductor and the center conductor. If you see the construction of your coaxial cable, the first you can say the center core is your center conductor. So first core is your center conductor. On the center conductor there is a dielectric materials are placed, and generally yes, any doubt? Okay. If you have any doubt, you can interrupt me in between. There is no problem. Okay. So here 2a is written. 2a is the your diameter. It means you can say that the radii of center conductor is A, and the radii of center conductor dielectric core is B. And generally these two are responsible to define the various parameters, that is losses within the coaxial cable, your characteristics impedance of the coaxial cable. So these two radii, radii A for the center conductor and radii B for the dielectric core is responsible. Now on above your dielectric core there is a one more conductor that is called the outer conductor, and sometimes it is called the jacket conductor. The good example of this coaxial line is your normal TB cable. If you see your TB cable, if you cut your TB cable, you will see that there is a center conductor, there is a dielectric core, and dielectric core is a sub-rigid type of material. It is not a complete rigid material, it is a sub-rigid type of material, and it is taken sub-rigid such that it can fit between the two conductor in a well manner. So sub rigid type of material is chosen for the dielectric core. And then there is a outer conductor, it is called the jacket conductor, and then the final is generally you will see the black color of plastic jacket, or sometimes it is a gray color of plastic jacket, that is called the insulating jacket. And this is the final jacket to save this construction of your center conductor, dielectric conductor, and the outer conductor. So this is the complete your you can say construction of your coaxial cable. There is a requirement to draw this type of diagram if examiner asks the question in your RTU examination. So now come to the figure number B. So figure number A is simply there is a excitation for the coaxial cable, and for connecting the coaxial cable to the source or load, a special type of connectors required. That connectors is called the BNC connector. So at the in your setup box, you can see the BNC type of connector. It can easily fit into the coaxial cable, and you can connect to the setup box. Now come to the this diagram, number B diagram. So this diagram shows that the flow of electric field and the flow of magnetic field, which is denoted by E and H field. So the E field is simply coming the outer side from the core, means it will actually, the main energy is propagated through the center conductor. So center conductor is responsible for carrying the microwave energy. So your electric field is radiated from the center conductor towards the outer conductor. That is, it also there is some small radiation are also there. So you can say that it come from the center conductor to the insulating jacket, and it is a you can say uh, it makes a angle of 90 degree. If you see the cross sectional area of your center conductor, it is just perpendicular to the every point, because center conductor is in the rounded side, it is in the cylinder type of things. However, the it is very thin, but it is cylindrical in shape, so it makes a 90-degree angle and radiates outward. However, if you see your magnetic field, it makes various loops. That is the, you can say, concentric circles type of structures. So you can see here, it is a concentric type of structure for the magnetic field. And if you see carefully, if this coaxial line cable is placed in a z direction, let us assume that the wave propagation is in the plus z direction, you will see that this electric field makes a perpendicular direction to the z direction, as well as your magnetic field, which makes the loop, it also is the not in the direction of z, it is in the direction of y. So both E and H field makes the transverse type of direction, comparing to the with respect to the direction of propagation, that is the z direction. So we can see we can say that this is the good example of TEM wave, transverse electric and transverse magnetic. So actually, generally in waveguide and all the transmission line, either it carries the transverse electric field or transverse magnetic field. But this coaxial cable is a very good example of transverse electric and magnetic field. However, sometimes in strip line you will see that there is a TEM type waves available, but the perpendicular of magnetic field is too low. We can neglect the transverse direction of magnetic field, since your magnetic field is decomposed into two. Let us suppose it is making some angle with respect to the z direction, so you can decompose the magnetic field with respect to x, with respect to y, that is in the vector sum. But so the overall, you can assume that the best and good example for the TEM wave, transverse electric magnetic wave is your this coaxial cable. So it is the about the construction of coaxial cable. Why there is a requirement of coaxial cable? Because for the simple two-line phone cable, the radiation loss is very high. We cannot propagate the RF wave for a long distance, very long distance. So there is a requirement of a special type of cable that comes as a form of coaxial cable. And then for the excitation of coaxial cable, or for the connecting the load, there is a requirement of connectors, that is called the VNC connector. And the electric field and the magnetic field of for coaxial cable is perpendicular, hence we can say that it supports the TEM wave, that is transverse electric and magnetic field. Up to this point, if you have any problem, you can ask. Is it clear? You can unmute your microphone and you can talk. There is no problem. Okay, so let us start the some formula related to your coaxial cable, and this formula is generally 3 to 4 formula important formulas are there. The first formula you can actually like your simple transmission line, we can also make the equivalent circuit of coaxial cable, having the conductance, having the capacitance, having the inductance value, and based on this inductance and capacitance value we can calculate the characteristics impedance. So at last we will see one small numerical based on the how we can calculate the conductance inductance, capacitance, and then consequently we can find the characteristics impedance. However, there is a number of derivations available for the coaxial cable, but you are very fortunate for the microwave engineering at this time, because as per your syllabus there is a no requirement of a detailed derivation for a particular strip line, micro strip line, coaxial cable, and waveguides, because we have to cover a 9 unit for this microwave engineering, and we have to reach up to the all active devices, and then low pass filter, band pass filter, very huge syllabus are there. So the requirement of examiner is just know about the construction, but sometimes they may ask a simple question, so you should familiar about the formula. And I hope as far as derivation is required, it may include in your electromagnetic wave subject, EMW subject, so you may see the various derivation for the waveguide and for the transmission line. However, in EMW paper, you can expect the derivation, but in microwave engineering, this construction and a small formula and the losses and this type of theoretical things you can expect in microwave engineering up to this syllabus. Is it okay? Okay. So again, today's attendance is only 9. So it is very disappointing for us. Myself and Balaji sir are discussing about your low attendance, and we are planning um, to improve it. It is a very disappointing attendance. Okay, so let us see some formula for the your coaxial cable. Just wait, I am showing you. So you can see here in equation this 3.75a, 3.75b, it will show the propagation of your E and H wave in positive J direction, but there is no need to remember this equation and this formula for your syllabus. Only thing is that sometimes they may ask, this is your E field, H field, and then your current density defined in the terms of unit vector of H field. Then there is a power formula, power is equal to 1 by 2 real part. This all is going to be derived in your EMW subjects, but for microwave there is no requirement. For microwave, the first requirement is you should remember the formula of power. Power flow through the coaxial line is pi V naught square neta ln B by A. So when you see the B and A is the radii of your conductor, core conductor, and B is the radii of your you can say sub-rigid dielectric material, and V naught is your excitations. You can see here. So you can expect one question from this power flow, but it is not this is the second priority. The first priority formula is your Z naught, this formula, and this formula is 60 divided by epsilon r ln B by A ohm. So this is a very good formula and important formula for the characteristics impedance of coaxial line. So characteristic impedance of the coaxial line is defined in this term. However, when it take the value of mu in terms of mu naught mu r and E in terms of epsilon naught epsilon r, after solving for coaxial line, it is approximated as 60 divided by under root epsilon r ln B by A. And the second, it supports the TEM wave. So the wavelength inside this TEM line is lambda g is equal to lambda naught under root epsilon r, and lambda naught can be calculated from the speed of light, that is sometimes it is called c naught or c. So while you divide the lambda naught by under root epsilon r, you can find the lambda g, and lambda g is your wavelength of your guided wavelength, you can say guided wavelength. So wavelength inside the TEM line. So you can just you have to remember this is the general formula, this is not for the TEM, this is the general formula. 3.79 is the general formula, but for coaxial cable you should remember this formula, 60 divided by under root epsilon r ln B by A. However, if you go for the coaxial line with small losses, again losses is due to the conductivity sigma of the conductors, because there is a finite conductivity. Ideally it should be conductivity should be infinite, but there is no material that supports the infinite conductivity. So there is some again losses, radiation losses. So due to this radiation losses, we can approximate the above formula, and then you can find out that this is also formula for skin depth, but skin depth formula is not for the coaxial cable. This delta is equal to 1 upon under root pi f mu sigma is the common skin depth formula, and it is also a part of your EMW subject. Remember one thing, let us suppose I am saying that it may be derived in the EMW subject, or it is given in the EMW subject. So you may feel that sir is saying that it may cover in the EMW subject, and EMW sir is saying that it may cover in the microwave engineering subject. So when you will face this type of problem, that not covering in both subject, and you want to derivation for your knowledge, because it is not for your syllabus. So at that case you can send me the personal WhatsApp, send your query on my personal WhatsApp number. I will discuss in next lecture, or I will discuss with you personally. There is no problem. So do not worry about it. Is not a ball throwing game, giving the EMW, giving the microwave. It is not like that. if you are interested to know more than the syllabus, you can go through the derivation of skin depth, you can go for the derivation of power. Every derivation you may find, not necessary that in your textbook, but some books are available, you can find the derivation. But I think you are overloaded with the subject, so just at this stage you should try to concentrate on your syllabus and main curriculum. So this is the skin depth. After that, there is a one more important formula, is that this one. So based on this, you can expect a numerical. The inductance, the equivalent inductance of coaxial line cable may be defined as mu naught divided by 2 pi ln b by a, and capacitance may be defined by 2 pi epsilon dash ln b by a. So once you know the L and C, you can easily calculate your Z naught. This Z naught is very simple and approximated as under root L by C. So one question you may expect, that find the characteristics impedance for a particular coaxial cable. For that case, you should start from Z naught is equal to under root L by C. Then for finding the L, you have to apply this formula, mu naught divided by 2 pi ln b by a, and then C is equal to 2 pi epsilon dash ln b by a. Based on these two formula, L, C and Z naught, see there is a one numerical. See this numerical. An air-filled coaxial transmission line has outer and inner conductor radii equal to 6 cm and 3 cm. Means the value of A is equal to 3 cm and the value of B is equal to 6 cm. So two radii are given. Calculate the values of inductance per unit length. Since we are in the distributed network, either it is the transmission line or coaxial cable, this is all distributed type, and in distributed type the meaning of L is inductance per unit length, the meaning of C is conductance per unit length, and the meaning of R and G is resistance and conductance per unit length respectively. So it is in terms of per unit length, inductance per unit length, capacitance per unit length, and then characteristic impedance, that is Z naught is equal to under root L by C. So you can see the solution here. L can be calculated as mu naught divided by 2 pi. So mu naught is equal is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 divided by 2 pi. Since B and A both are in centimeter, so there is no need to convert centimeter into the meter, because centimeter and centimeter is going to be cancelled out. However, if in a formula, if it is not going to be cancelled out, there must be a requirement to convert into the meter. So it is ln 6 by 3, it is equal to this Henry per meter. And similarly you can calculate C is equal to 2 pi epsilon naught ln b by a, because here epsilon and mu is not given. We have no idea about the dielectric. If a particular dielectric is given, for particular dielectric there is a value of mu r and epsilon r. For that case you have to write here mu naught mu r and here epsilon naught epsilon r. But since there is a no idea about the dielectric, so we are considering like air, mu naught and epsilon naught. So you can calculate C, 2 pi into 10 to the power minus 9 divided by 36 pi. This is the value of your epsilon naught, ln 6 by 3. So you are getting 0.08 10 to the power minus 9 farad per meter. And then you can directly apply this formula, Z naught is equal to under root L by C. Under this is your the formula of L, this is the formula of C, and consequently you are finding this formula 120 pi ln b by a divided by 2 pi. Based on this formula you can expect one question in GATE examination also. Otherwise you can simply put this value of L and put this value of C, and then you are actually mu naught divided by epsilon naught is approximated here as a 120 pi under root. So you can approximate this formula like this, or you can give this value directly at this place, and then you will get the 41.59 ohm. Remember that for every type of transmission line, microwave type of line, the characteristics impedance is ideally it is a near 50 ohm, sometimes 40 ohm, 30 ohm, 60 ohm. So this is the particular range for the characteristic impedance. For example, in you are solving a numerical and you are finding that the value of Z0 is equal to kilo ohm, mega ohm, it means you are doing some wrong calculation. So you must remember the various typical value of your characteristics impedance. It should be near to the 50 ohm if you have selected the radii for the coaxial cable in typical range, means in possible ranges. Let us suppose if you have taken 6 meter and 3 meter radii, and there is a huge big type of coaxial cable which is actually not possible, so you can expect the different type of values for the Z0. After that also your coaxial cable may support some higher order modes. Higher order modes means the due to the construction, the cross sectional view is going to be changed. So you can see here it will support the TE11 and TM01, but it is not in your syllabus. Here E field and H fields are going to be changed. However, uh, up to your syllabus, you must remember that it supports the TEM, and these are the uh, 3.84, 3.82, 3.83, B, C, and this one. This is the important formula. So there are three formula, and this is the one power formula. The power is given, and you can also remember this skin depth formula, 1 upon under root pi f mu, and conductivity, and this is your power formula, pi v naught square neta ln b by a. So just the construction, and the advantage is that over the simple phone cable is that it improves the you can say the conduction of your RF wave within the conductor. It means it reduces the radiation loss in a huge manner compared to your simple two-line phone conductor. So from my side, it is all about the coaxial line, coaxial cable. If you have doubt, you can ask. Okay, so in next lecture, I will discuss the your I will discuss first my transmission line, that is strip line and micro strip lines, various transmission line, and then I will enter into the rectangular waveguide and circular waveguide. So for covering this unit, there is a requirement to cover the circular waveguide, rectangular waveguide, strip line, micro strip line, and various types of transmission lines. So for today's, it is all about the microwave engineering lecture. We will cover the coaxial cable. However, if you are facing any problem, you can ask in future. Thank you. Now you can leave the class if you have no doubt.